Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are now tuning in to Cooler Talk Monday. And before we start off this program, we want to bless y'all with the stylings of tonight's song. We're going to kick this off right. Me. Ooh.
Crocs are still a croc, even though you're wearing those Crocs like socks.
And a chair is still a chair.
Even when it's going upside your head.
Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah. Hey, and that, my friend, is the stylings of Mad Mike Sports, the therapist in Six Man K Styles. Album coming soon. Hey man,
It's straight off of Golden Nigga Productions.
sponsored by the Golden Nigga.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a man. That did not happen.
Right off the
Oh my
bat.
God. Christian
Hey,
came with
Chris,
the 999
appreciate it. Chris
Come
of
on,
the
brother.
Unholy Alliance. The,
All right. What's going on, people, man? As y'all seen that complete foolishness coming on. We got some Falcons golden.
With the brand people.
Hey, hold on. Hey, it is not, bruh. It is not my fault. This motherfucker got some wrestling kick pass on right now.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just
I'm
saying.
just saying, he got
Oh,
wrestling kick
boy.
pass on. Hey man, what's going on, y'all, man? As y'all see, man, the foolishness coming in.
Oh, man.
Like I said, man, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Mike, let's go ahead and get these folks with that real. Video said Golden Niggas Weekend Production ass whooping after church and back.
Hey, K-Style, could you put the picture up one more time? I gotta ask you a question.
Oh Lord. Okay. There you go.
What are these?
No, I think the better question is what were those?
Right. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, man. What's going on, y'all, man? Like I said, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Let's go and get this roll call out the way. We got Robert Ponder in the building. We got Bubba Gump, Joseph Thornton. We got Auntie Pam in the building.
Ah, my crocs are biting me. Ah, they're biting me.
We got ACL Leo, Brian Peoples, Tip Raines, Sherman Wood, Lee 85. We got Big Ant in the building. John St. Clair, Old Chicken Holler, Bubba Gump, YMOF Jamal, like I said, Brian Peoples, Todrick Davis, Engine 9, Dirty Bird Dixon. We got Sonya in the building, Dreddy. Hey man, let me go and get this picture off because he
Oh,
Oh boy.
oh. My Brian was in my hair.
hey look. Hey, look, I think Solo Sokoa said something to them Crocs. Look, he said, my nigga, is you crying right now?
Oh my God.
Shit.
Man.
Oh my God, bro. I needed that laugh. I know we all needed a good laugh, man. So, hey man, how's everybody doing, man? Juan, Mike, how y'all doing?
Oh man,
I'm
I'm good, man.
wonderful. I'm wonderful. I'm not them Crocs, so I'm wonderful.
Yes, that is why I will never. That's why I never go in the swamp with him. Never.
That boy got them damn them Crocs look like them socks from whatchamacallit, strip tease. We got the strip tease socks.
dude, dude got some high top Crocs. The
Oh,
Falcon
Ah,
not the
edition.
high tops. Not the high tops. Whoa.
Oh
that's the
man.
hey, that's the new Yeezy Crocs right there.
Yeah, that's what he sounded like when he put them on too.
But let's go ahead and kick this off, right, man. Mike, what you want to go ahead and kick us off with that? I just thought it just needed a good laugh at the beginning.
Um, do you want to kick off with that story? Y'all want to kick off with that story? Y'all take so, man. Hey,
Hey, look, we're gonna ask the people. Do y'all want to hear our take on that story, or do y'all want us to get straight to the Falcons stuff?
we do either or. It don't matter.
It
Right,
don't matter.
right.
So it depends on the people.
Uh,
Oh
wait,
Lord, we got a
Tip
couple of
Ray said
guests.
yes. It's an Air Gordon slide. Mike, I think they want to hear the story.
I
They
think
said
they wanted
Tip.
to kick this off with this. Okay, so um, all right, Lord have mercy. Okay, so as a lot of people have already seen the memes and stuff, um, there was a Royal Rumble ass whooping down in Alabama.
Woo boy.
Um,
Bruh.
let's just say there were chairs involved. Um, they
Decathlon. That's what was going on too.
it
Uh,
was it was one of those wide power jumpers, and boy threw his hat, let the bat signal out, and then all the black folk came out there and started, bruh, I don't, like I said, the violence is not always funny, but this was some of the most cartoonish ass shit I've ever seen in my life.
It was
Like,
like watching the Looney Tunes all over again.
bruh. Bruh.
man, we
Let,
got
let, let.
we we got we got 2021 tilapia ass motherfucker swimming across the river, about to get the smoke. He rock bottoming folks. We got Uncle Rufus knocking folks upside the head with chairs.
You got
I just
Thunder.
think,
Yeah. Thunder Chair Thor. That what it was. Thunder Chair Thor hitting
bro,
people in the face with it.
but bro, when you see somebody get their asses tossed back into the okay, so let me get for real. Okay, so the story was it was a riverboat cruise, and it was the these folks that had like their own little boat, little, it wasn't a sailboat. I don't know what the fuck boat.
It was a canoe. It was like one of them
It was a
little
canoe.
kind of canoe
And the
type boats.
security guard was telling them that, okay, y'all need to move y'all boat because we're trying to get this riverboat to port here.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the white guys, I don't know their name, so I'm just going to generalize them as the white guys. He had a problem with it, and then his friend came in and snuck one. So the OG, like I said, the security guard, he was like about 50 something. So he was an old head. So he got jumped by like 4 or 5
I'm gonna
of
go
them,
get
and
a
then
flashback, boy.
like I said, he went Bobby Schmurder and tossed his hat up, and then all of a sudden you seen about 3 other brothers come down. The first guy didn't do nothing. He tried to break it up. The other guy just came in swinging, and then there was about 4 more other guys. I guess they snatched the shirts off. They started fighting these folks. Bro, even the ladies got in and got their asses stomped the fuck out. I said, bro, ain't no. I said, bro, this. What? How that video go on? Another, another
Another
satisfied.
satisfying racial moment.
So long story short, the instigators all got stomped out, and some lady just got hit upside the head with a chair. Another dude got hit twice with a chair. I said, brother, ain't no way.
So, in other words, K Style, in layman's terms, what K Style saying is Bob and Barbara fucked around and found out.
He said, what he said? Okay, this is where you fuck around, and this is where you find out.
Right.
So by the equation of 7x times 3y carried
Carry
by
the one.
the decibel of the second power, they fucked around and found out that yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
Oh, and side note, today in Black History, Rufus swam a river for a fight. The first man to swim a river, beat down Bob, and not get arrested.
Hey, look, Aquaman.
He was Aquaman. He was Aquaman.
Right.
Aquaman. But I swear it was ECW all over again. But I was expecting Paul Heyman to come out. But like I said, man, we just wanted to get a few minutes on that, man. I just thought it was just hilarious. About 7-8 people got arrested. Like I said, as you saw, the biggest victim was the biggest victim of all this shit was them goddamn Crocs. The Crocs did not deserve to get bust through like that.
Hey, hold up. First of all, that grown man's leg shouldn't be deep throwing Crocs to the point where he rupture.
What'd you say? The Crocs was like the got 3,000 on the man?
Right.
How the hell do you get beat through the Crocs? I've seen shoes fly off of people. I've seen them fly off people. I've seen somebody get knocked out of your shoes, but this one got knocked through the shoes. Through the shoes.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
That was the first one. Let's go. Like Blackberry said, home team. He said, but Buddy got beat through the Crocs.
Wait, look, just said the damn Crocs swam up the cab, trying to escape that ass whooping.
Oh my God.
Man, no. He had that.
He tried to make some basketball cast.
That's them cat Crocs.
You know those viral videos with them ducks? What them do with them?
Oh man. Let's go ahead and get right into it, man. I just thought.
Oh my God.
So
Motherfucker got beat through the Crocs.
Croc didn't get the win.
What'd you say, Jay? He ran through the Crocs twice. Ran off through the Crocs twice.
You tell me I'm talking about them Crocs got Zion Williams. Dog.
But yeah, man. Like you said, man, there's some other news. They said Calais Campbell is back in Falcons training camp.
We told y'all.
Which doesn't surprise us at all, because like I said, that's OG right there, man. They said he ain't gotta be out there doing 2 a day for nothing.
Right.
As you pretty much kind of know, he's been coaching up these young guys, and especially looking at the training camp we went to on Saturday, and definitely shouts out to Terrence Mathis, shout out to all the legends of the 98 team,
right?
Like Toro McElhaney for giving us the shout out, and shout out to the cameraman who actually took the picture with us, because we find him to be as important as everybody else, and
he was like, y'all want to take a picture with me? Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
man, like you do a great job at. Y'all do a great job taking them. That is not easy to like really be on point with taking
Hmm.
the pictures. Look, they do their thing, man. So yeah, we think everybody's important in that organization, man.
Right. But yeah, like you said, the OG back, like I said, they're gonna do nothing but make it better for the young gunners. And we definitely saw them in action. So yeah, we can't wait.
Oh, and shout out to King Richie who sent the messages earlier. He wanted us to talk more about that front four. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about some defense too. We look. This is why we ask you guys to send us
Right.
messages. Look, we give people what they want. We are I won't say man of the people, but we are the people of the people. If that makes
There you
sense.
go. There you go.
Right. But let's get to one of the main stories that we got for the night. As I guess everybody want to get our takes on. Oh man, Matt Schaub is back in the building.
Woo, boy, boy, boy.
Um, look at this.
We
Jay
told
said,
you so.
look. Jay said, glad they showed y'all some love since nobody else does it.
Jay, bruh, that man, mic drop,
Mic drop,
mic
mic
drop.
drop. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
they showed us some love. Our thing is to do nothing but spit the truth. We
Mhm.
are,
Hmm.
and the truth is not always good. It's not always what people want to hear. Hell, y'all want to see us fight and argue like each other. Look, we fight amongst each other all the time. That's real. That's the truth. Everything is all ain't copacetic.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly. But like I said, man, they showed us some love, and like I said, y'all show us some love just by tuning in and giving y'all input
Hmm.
on what these shows is, man. And like I always say around here, I'd rather be appreciated by the 20% than loved by 100%. Because if you
mhm.
love by 100% of the people, 80% of that is fake love. So, hey, man, let's get
Right.
right into it. So, I want to get y'all thoughts on that. How do y'all feel about? First of all, no. Before we get to that, I want to ask everybody a question. Like I said, even everybody here in the chat. How do you feel about the Atlanta Falcons bringing back these former players to to keep them in the loop on this team? How do y'all feel about that?
I love it. I love it. You got to think, man. We got two generations of players, practically two generations of players, because we've been around long enough for both of them. But you got two generations of players in two different eras that's being celebrated at the same time. And that lets you know right now that the culture has changed. Because when Matt Ryan was here, you didn't see 98. That was not allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And when they saw that and the kind of team we had going into 2016, wasn't nobody talking about that. Nobody was talking about it. But the fact that you have him here lets you know two things. One, the respect of this organization and this team that they have for these players is unprecedented. Number two, you gonna face a wiser team than you have in the last 20 years. Reason I say that, because you have two groups of players in quarterbacks, linemen, wide receivers, DBs, whatever, what have you, that can actually impart wisdom, championship wisdom, into these new players. Tell them what it's like. Tell them what to expect, what to look out for, what not to do. Don't celebrate early until the clock hits zero. It's a fight. It's a journey. It ain't a sprint. Those kind of things. Two generations. And I haven't seen one team outside of the Falcons in the last 10 years have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Auntie, she said even Dean Pease is consulting with the team.
He's still a
Right.
consultant, right? And that's a great thing too to have so many players. I've said this amongst the group that people don't realize we have the three most successful quarterbacks in Falcons history. Well, four. I mean, like Bart, he's still very much a part of this team. Also,
Mm-hmm.
um, um, you have Mike Vick, still a part of this organization. Now we got Matt Schaub. People forget we drafted Matt Schaub. He played quite well with the Atlanta Falcons, which led to him being traded to Houston, and then he had a damn near, he had a successful career as a starter, as a backup, as a I would say kind of a assistant coach to Matt Ryan in his latter years to help him see his eyes and his ears, kind of start his coaching career early. And
Mm-hmm.
like these are the things that you want, man. And one thing that I like, I go back and I had this conversation. I had this conversation with Terrence Mathis, the great Terrence Mathis. Um, One of the things that he always said, he actually dropped this on our show when we did that interview with him. He said, and I know K Styles remember this. He said one of the things that we did wrong in 2000 and 2000. It was 99, 98, 99. So one of the things that we did in 99 that year wrong in the Super Bowl is that we went and changed our entire philosophy. We changed our entire philosophy. We changed what got us there. We
Mm-hmm.
changed what got us there. We changed our identity. That was the mistake the Atlanta Falcons did, even under, like, if you can go to 2016, we still a running team. We've always been a
Right.
running. When we've been successful in Atlanta, we ran the damn ball. That's what we've always done. Every time we've had success, we ran the damn ball, and we changed our philosophy. And if we're going to do that, I think the lesson out of this going forward is that we got to continue to do what we do best. Don't get caught up in the media. Don't get caught up into what fans want to see. Stick to what we are. We are running. We always have been a run first and defensive organization. So stick to that. We the dirty birds. We don't need to be the
Right.
pretty birds. We don't need to be the pretty bird. We don't need to be none of that. We can be the dirty damn birds, and there's nothing wrong with that. That has got us to success, and that's what we need to stick to. So having a Terrence Mathis back and having Jamal Anderson, they can teach these guys. Bring it back a Mike Vick and tell what he went wrong. You go back and look. K Styles know this show all too well. When Jalen Collins, when he did his podcast, one of the things he said was what K Style, what was they doing during the halftime?
They was already celebrating, sipping champagne, thinking they already won the game.
Mm-hmm.
These are the lessons that comes from losing. A lot of people think that losing is always a bad thing, but one always know the best. Go ahead, one finish it.
Hey man, look, the best experience you're gonna have is losing. It's gonna be your best teacher because you got to think. We even had Muhammad Sanu show up. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Sanu showed us some love. Those guys are teaching these guys here what K Styles and my man Mike always say: 60 minutes of football until that clock hits 0-0-0, and we got more points than them. That's what matters. That's what matters. And that identity, we got back to what made us who we are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to think about it. Falcons ground game wasn't bad. It's just the fact that we tried to get Hollywood and follow I hate to say it, follow the fandom. Now we're going back to what made us leaders in the NFC South.
Mm-hmm.
So by them losing, they'll go into a Super Bowl and know how to handle themselves. They'll go into the postseason and know how to handle themselves. They'll go into a championship and know how to handle themselves. They'll keep their mind on the game until the game is over.
And hopefully Terrence Mathis doesn't go and for real find Tay Diggs and whoop his ass like he said. Jared here
And
said nobody thought that we'd go to Super Bowl in 2016. This team flying under the radar just like that team. And Fred Butts, he said we've been running around 60 years running the ball and we have no championships.
Yes, we do. We got an NFC championship. That's a championship.
yeah,
Yeah, like people
yeah,
don't know the
it's a
NFL
championship.
is a like the AFC was they was a completely different league. What's the word for it? But they combined the league
Oh yeah,
together.
Yeah,
the AFL and the NFL.
Yeah, it was the
yeah,
EFL
yeah,
and the NFL. These are two leagues. So having the AFC and the NFC, this is a combined league, and people don't know these are championships. These are two different leagues that came together. So it's
right.
like one thing we always say, it's like division titles matter. I don't
Yeah,
know who I don't know. It's a step. People, this what I'm gonna say. This is not gonna sound nice at all. I don't give a fuck, but this is not gonna sound nice at all. But you gotta start somewhere.
yeah,
How you know you won if you've never gotten an award? When
right.
you do chores, what do your parents do? They give you rewards. They give you $1. They give you $2. They give you $10. How do you know that you're doing things right if you're not getting rewards? It has to start with a small reward, a bigger reward, and then even a bigger reward. So you understand how to get to each level by
Right.
getting these rewards. A division title is a start. It's an award. So people who always say, and I'm gonna get you one, but people who always say that an NFC championship isn't a championship, then why they give me a ring for it?
Hmm. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Mike, because let's do a little bit of history. Do y'all realize after they combined both of those different leagues, right? The championship was the top rung. There was no Super Bowl. Okay, because remember you had two of the oldest franchises in history, which was the Chiefs and the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when they decided they needed something bigger, around that time, that's the time when Vince Lombardi was coaching. They went ahead and they created, when they combined them, they said, okay, we got to have something bigger than this championship. They created the first Super Bowl. And that's when those two teams showed up. That is the reason why you have the Lombardi trophy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because they named it after him because he was such a phenomenal coach. And at those times, Green Bay and Kansas City were going at it. They have been going at it for years.
Mm-hmm.
There you
So
go,
that's
Ted.
what I think what is it? The first Super Bowl was like what in the '60s, I believe. Because I
I
think
think
they
it
because
was 60.
Was it 63? No, it was
'64, I
63,
think
63 or 64, one of them, I
right,
believe.
right. Because Kansas City Chiefs have been winning championships in the '40s.
See,
Y'all go
John
back and
said he saw it. John said he
yeah,
saw that. See what I'm saying?
yeah,
This is a history that people don't know.
right.
That has not always been the Super Bowl.
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah, so kind of going back on what they're saying is, like I said, you yes, if you're talking about the ultimate prize, which is the Super Bowl, yes, you're
Hmm.
correct. We don't have that. But then, like I
Right.
said, you have to think the best chances the Falcons have had in the entire history, as what Mike said, is when the team was balanced. If you
Right.
if you if you go and you look at all the successes the Falcons have had, is the teams were balanced. Like I said, you and then when we're talking about balance, we're talking about balance on both sides of the ball, not
Mm-hmm.
just
Right.
one aspect. And the thing about it is, in order for you to build a team like that to where you can get back to that balance, you have to start somewhere. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
this is why we say, like for me, this is why I say with Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, this year is their first official year.
Yeah. Technically, yeah. With their roster, with their
Right,
team,
Mm-hmm.
right.
not a makeshift team. But I'm gonna throw something in there, and I don't think people really understand the gravity of what we're talking about. Do is This is what I call the Roger Bannister effect. And if anybody knows about Roger Bannister, he was the man that broke the 4 minute mark for track and field.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all understand how hard the '98 team had to fight to get to the Super Bowl? Because prior to that, Falcons had never been. That team laid the groundwork for possibilities. They laid the groundwork for 2016 to happen. Because before then, no Falcon had ever seen a Super Bowl, ever. So if you think they were the ones, the pioneers, then 2016 came about, they were the ones that, okay, we stepping on their shoulders, but we still didn't learn. We still had to learn some more. This time, third time's a charm. Oh yeah. So y'all got to understand what we're saying in this conversation right now. Totally, this culture is going to transcend into a championship, and I'm saying it right here. You got the right coaching staff, you got the right front office, and you got the right players. All you got to do now is play the game and play it smart. And that's why they got people like Matt Schaub. That's why they got people like Calais Campbell. That's why they're talking. That's why you got players talking to people like Ricardo Allen. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got Jesse the Tuggle out there, Jesse the Hammer Tuggle. He's out there helping players. Why? They're trying to get wisdom from these players so that when they get in the game, they see more than what's in front of them.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things too, I always state with I'm gonna just use a personal. I'm gonna just use a personal take. Y'all know how many times I got fired. like, I've been on so many podcasts, bro. I've gotten fired at least I think 3 times. I personally gotten fired 3 times for multiple reasons. This for multiple reasons, and I like my failures are one of the reasons why you know, in my opinion, AFN, Mad Mike Sports, Six Man K Style, Jew Talk Sports, Blackberry. Like I can teach these guys, you know, to avoid the mistakes that I made personally. I've gotten fired quite a bit. I'm gonna just let y'all know I've gotten fired quite a bit, but I learned from these mistakes, or whatever the circumstances were at that time. But I've learned from these things how to avoid certain things, how to to coincide with different types of personalities that may like they may not like how Mike put together shows, how K Styles put together shows, how like it's all about learning your teammates and learning the people. It's all about psychology. So people think that like success and being handed success or being handed something is the way to learn. No, I've learned more from failure Trust me, Maggie and I done got fired from quite a few uh uh radio shows, and I think Andrew G, if I'm not, yeah, he remembers us when we first started. Like I'm talking about first started when I was doing radio. I was doing
Mm.
radio before I got into this, and I got fired. So again, man, the Falcons and a lot of these fans thinking it's a bad thing to quote unquote have losers around. You got to have a mixture of both. You got to have winners and you got to have losers. The losers, you can, like in my opinion, I think you can learn more from losing than you learn from winning. That's just my.
Hmm. I mean that's. I'm gonna get this $5. Fred Butts, appreciate the $5 super chat, man. He said, when he gets to the Super Bowl this year, Arthur Smith will finish the job. Yes, yes, and this ties into what Mike was saying. You're gonna win more from losing than you do winning. Winning, winning is easy. Winning is easy, and I know a lot of y'all not gonna understand what I'm saying. Winning is easy, losing is hard because losing comes with a lesson. Winning, you just win. You just walk away with it because losing forces you to go back and examine yourself, examine your team, examine your front office, examine your coaches, examine your culture. And it also exposes phony people because real people going real if real people are down for your organization or down for that kind of culture, they're going to stick it out. This is why we always say there's a difference between fans and spectators. Spectators want to be entertained by the people running up and down the field. Fans actually understand the game, so they say, okay, if my team is not winning right now, A, B, C, and D is the reason why they need to change this. And this is why Mike always says, we bringing you guys the facts, the stats, and the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you understand what you're looking at, you enjoy it a lot more.
And like you said, a lot of quote unquote dynasties came from nowhere. You got to start
Yeah.
somewhere. Um, and I think with this move with Matt Schaub and bringing him in to as what they say he is a football analyst for the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what this is telling me is, like you said, they're bringing in a lot of these guys, like especially Matt Schaub. And it's very interesting too because Josh Kendall from the Athletic has also said that Matt Ryan already extended his hand to Desmond Riddle.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Mm. K-Style.
yo,
K-Style. Can we make a connection on that? Because I like where you going like that. You threw an alley oop. I'm gonna try to slam dunk it. Basically, Matt Ryan said, if you need something from me, contact me. In other words, what that man, what Cheeks, the thrower, was supposed to do, Matt Ryan is doing. And personally, for me, I loved it because who better to teach a quarterback how to go to a championship than one that's been to a championship? See what I'm saying? He's been to a Super Bowl, so he can. Desmond Ritter came out on his draft night and said, I am not going to be satisfied to get a Super Bowl. What better person to teach him about that is a man that got to a Super Bowl.
and especially a guy that's getting the same exact criticisms that he got.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's learning from all aspects on how to deal with that
Mm-hmm.
criticism and dealing with the type of barking he's hearing right now about him not being that guy. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about if your team believes in you and if your coach believes in you. And this is the culture that they're trying to push is like it's us against the world.
Right. And you
It's
got to
just
think.
me against the world.
Hmm.
And you got to think. Arthur Blank has signed off on it. Arthur Smith has signed off on it. Matt Ryan has come behind him and said, "Hey, look, they've been on me for 14 years. You in good company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show you the nuances. I'm gonna show you what to do. You've been handling yourself perfectly. Do this,
Mm.
this, 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 and this."
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna progress because now he doesn't have to worry about, does my team back me? Does the owner like me? Does my coach have my back? Now he can go play football. His mind is freed up. This you gotta understand. He will not go into the season confused, scared, or worried about stuff that don't matter. He gonna go in there focused on the game.
Right
You
about
going to
that.
work, you going to work, and you know you're not sure that your manager values you. Now you looking over your shoulder instead of doing your job.
Mm-hmm. And then,
That's
like
a
you
bad
said,
feeling.
and Matt Schaub went through that adversity too. Like you said, he came in, he got booed on draft night because you already like I said, I remember them chat rooms and them
Oh
AOL
boy.
chat rooms. I remember them on how he got crucified for getting picked and dealing with that. Then going to Houston, being the Pro Bowler, and you know, you having a good couple years and him falling off. So he
Hmm.
done went through the mud too. And like you said, you learning from a guy like that. Like I said, if you know the processes on how to cope with the failure and come strong with it, and you're giving that knowledge to a young guy already, like you said, it's nothing. For Desmond Ritter got nothing to lose now.
Right. And the last thing is Desmond Ritter, even when he makes his own mistakes, he has enough character to pick up his fellow players when he sees they make a mistake and say, "Hey, bruh, it's a mistake. We make them. Let's get back to work."
Another thing too, Dan Reeves, R.I.P. But a lot of his, like, the reason why he was able to build the Falcons in such a short period of time is because of his failures. His failures with Denver. He was a major
Mm.
failure. Like those guys lost. I think they lost like two Super Bowls. I'm not mistaken.
They lost two
Hmm.
Super
Two
Bowls.
Super Bowls.
Mm.
They lost two Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things that we talk about. It's like if you go back and look at even Bill Belichick, people act like Bill Belichick he was born a winner. That's not true at all.
Nope.
He is what we call, and what most people will call, a disciple. He's a Bill Parcells disciple. He wasn't the chosen one. Bill Parcells taught Bill Belichick everything he knows. Everything he knows. Bill still to this day he talks about Bill Parcells
Bruh,
because
that was the goat.
Bill Parcells has always been my goal. It's like he's the greatest coach
That's
of
the
all
goat.
time. Man, I just
You're
I just
right.
don't think anybody because the things that he was able to do, like people talk about Lawrence Taylor, it's like nobody was able to build a defense around a particular player's skill set like Bill Parcells. Nobody was able to do that. And
Right.
This is why Bill Parcells or Bill Belichick always, like, if you look at him, he can get a player and adapt his defensive style around that particular player. He's always been able to do that. So these are the things that we talk about when we're saying it's like a lot of these coaches, man, it's like they failed first. He was a mess in Cleveland. He didn't really know much of anything about offense. He knew how to build a defense in Cleveland. They had a pretty good defense. But offensively, he was an absolute failure. And then he
Yeah.
went to New England and learned from his mistakes again.
Mhm.
Bill Walsh, he tried to pitch his offense so many times. People thought he was an absolute Looney Tune. Nobody believed in what Bill Walsh was doing. Nobody believed in what Bill. Everybody thought that even Vince Lombardi was a freaking Looney Tune. They didn't hire him. He had trouble getting hired too.
Yeah,
Go
he did.
look himself. Go ahead, K South. Go ahead.
He got a $5 super chat from Dre Harrison. He said the fat Matt Ryan is back and Ritter should show the fans that they're going to be something special about this football team.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it ain't even just Matt Ryan. It's like you said, even when we went to the training camp, you saw all the former players
Mm-hmm.
paying close attention to these players.
Joe Burrow, he was with the team. So many other guys that are just like these guys back and teaching and they putting their hand on these guys. It's all about wisdom. And these are the things that we talk about when it comes down to like success. Success leaves clues.
All day.
The reason why Dallas has been failing for years is because every time they get a legend or they get a good coach, they start firing them. They never keep good coaches.
Well, that's because Jerry Jones he wants all the power.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Dallas is Dallas is a victim of their own success because the way Dallas won all of those games was in an era where you could get the best players in the league at the time and put them all on one team. And this is why when you hear us say stuff about like when it comes to Brady talking about buying a championship, that's what we mean. Because that era, you had no salary cap. So you could take any player you wanted that was the top rung at the time or he was in the prime of his career and put him on a team. And just long as you could get the coach to get them to work together, they were a dynasty. Dallas never really had to build from the ground up. And Jerry Jones inherited that legacy. He didn't inherit the team. He inherited the legacy, the work that Bill Parcells and them put in. And that's what he rode on. Now, were there some good players after that? Absolutely. But when you build it out of the mud, it translates a little bit different. It's just like the great, John Madden. John Madden didn't have it easy with the Raiders either. But you see what he was able to do in his time with the Raiders. So that being said, I mean, even we could even say Sean Payton. Sean Payton started out. Sean Payton was under what Parcells, right?
Yeah, he was under Parcells, and he had his play calling duties revoked because he kept doing
messing up.
Wait a minute, Juan. So are you telling me that the great Dallas Cowboy dynasty was only there because they was tricking their money off?
Look, man, yeah. And this is why we tell y'all to do your homework. The Dallas era is one of the reasons why we have a salary cap. Because if you had that Dallas team or those players in the league at that time with the salary cap, you would have had a third of those players on the Dallas squad. They loaded that team up. You know how many Hall of Famers came off of that team? That's the team that beat Buffalo 4 times in a row.
Them motherfuckers had like 7 Hall of Famers on the offense alone.
Right. And we ain't gonna even talk about the defense. We ain't gonna even talk about the defense.
Yeah, that was the tricking area.
Yeah, and what it was to try at the time they were trying to keep things fair. We've seen it in baseball. The Yankees did it after the Braves won the World Series that year. The Yankees were snatching up all of the good players because they wanted a super team. And in order to make the game interesting and people actually continue to watch it, you got to be able to have other teams to have that other organizations should have a fighting chance. So if you just got one team that's getting all of the good players, it makes the game lopsided. So they came up with the salary cap so that other teams could have that shot, and it wouldn't seem one sided. This is the reason why we tell y'all popularity don't win championships. Popularity don't win championships.
All right. Like I said, I like how that conversation went right there. Mike, you want to get into? We got about 10 more minutes. You want to get into this final one? As a lot of people probably saw the article on Bleacher Report, pretty much saying that Matt Ryan described his time in Indianapolis as a quote unquote shit show. And also, and like I said, this was very interesting, especially since he was at the Falcons training camp just this past week. And Arthur Blank said the quote following is, "Y'all, we will expect to see Matt Ryan around Atlanta a lot more." I mean, what does that mean? I mean, we already discussed about Jim Irsay and his Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds looking ass.
Can I say one thing before Mike goes? Because I know he about to tear into this.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan, come on home.
So what you're telling me is it's a possibility that Matt Ryan may be setting up some for him as far as stakes in the team.
I see what you did there, K Styles.
So you telling me all the 10-4 Koofies about to start picket signing outside the Falcons dome?
It's gonna be Ritter on one side and Matt Ryan on the other. Mike, go ahead and say it. I hear it. K Styles might want to get the jingle ready. He about to sing.
Before we do that, we got a $1.99 super chat. Right, people say, Carolina, you now have a problem with Wright. I need to elaborate on that. I haven't heard anything about that, Brian. Let you go ahead and elaborate on that. But Mike has special tunings. This is the second song off the Unholy Alliance Conglomerate album. Mike, would you like to bless us with that song?
Me. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. That's my Frank Sinatra remix right there. That's
that was good. That was good.
That boy good.
But, hey, man.
You know what it sounded like? It sounded like that song off of Fallout New Vegas. How that shit goes like
too many mafia books. Okay,
like, Johnny guitar played again, my Johnny. Baby, you're cold.
Hey,
but you're so warm inside.
Those are the sweet sounds of K Styles, Six Man.
I am the man.
Oh, baby.
Johnny guitar.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Hey man, I don't know how many times when you see when you have a good thing, you want to appreciate it.
Mm.
You want to appreciate greatness. Okay, don't let your ego get you up effed up. Okay, don't let your ego get you effed up. Don't tell me that there is a quarterback or a coach that is as smart as Matt Ryan. He's one of the most brilliant quarterbacks to ever lace him up. This man has been in every offensive system you can imagine. Tom Brady didn't do that. Drew Brees didn't do that. Dan Marino didn't do it. This man, Matt Ryan, has been in every single system you can imagine. A run first, a pass first, a balance. Like every this man have done any like he had like five coordinators. Damn near three, four of them was different systems. Spread, pass first, run first. He's done it all. Done it all. Done it all. Done it all. He's done it all, people. Why would you? Why
They
would you?
call him done it all. The cold, we throw down the ball. These bitches, we don't fuck them all.
Oh, it's good. Okay, but this is exactly what you want, man. Like you don't want great coaches to get away. This like for me, man, especially a guy that's like who like how many people do you can say that have a problem with Matt Ryan? How many players have you seen that came out and said Matt Ryan is an absolute jackass? F him. I've never heard it.
Nah,
I've never heard a coach say Matt Ryan is a piece of crap. I don't like him. You've never heard that. People always speak highly of this guy. So if you got a guy that's not only liked by his teammates, and you look at right now, the media absolutely loves his personality because guess what? He's a member of the media now. So he has to be well liked. And the third thing, what people are not understanding, this is a huge deal for the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm gonna tell you why. Why? He's a member of the media. The media does not like the Atlanta Falcons, and now we have a representative that we can trust to speak for us. And I love Prime. I love Prime. I love him to death. But he didn't speak for the Atlanta Falcons.
nah,
He
he didn't.
for the Atlanta Falcons. Now he has a personal relationship with Arthur Blank. So guess what? All these narratives being thrown out there by a lot of these analysts who don't know a damn thing about them. We got a guy that's gonna speak for us that we can all trust. So when James Brown and all those guys ask questions, it's like, well, that's not what I'm hearing. Well, me and Arthur Blank, we have a great relationship, and this is what he told me the Atlanta Falcons are going to do. Now all them media driven narratives are fucking bullshit. Cause guess what? We got a guy he's the true insider.
Right.
He's the true insider. And nothing against D Lid and nothing against Jeff Schultz and all those guys. But he's the true insider because he knows our owner. He knows Rich McKay. He knows Des Murray. He knows Julio Jones and Roddy White and Tony Gonzalez and all these guys. Now we have a guy that really can speak for the Atlanta Falcons. Something we never ever had before. This is a huge signing for people, and I don't think a lot of people don't know. He's going to win over the media. I'm telling you right now, Matt Ryan is going to win over the media at like never before because he's going to be able to speak on behalf of Arthur because Arthur doesn't like him. to speak. He speak maybe 2-3 times a year on this team.
Right.
Nothing like Jerry Jones. Arthur, he speaks maybe 2 to 3 times a year, and that's it. Now we got Matt Ryan that's going to be the voice for the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to be
And
honest with you, outside of Tony Gonzalez, was nobody else.
Uh-uh.
right.
Even Michael Vick didn't really speak on the Falcons like that, and that's the Lord and Savior of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that they're not paying attention to either is Matt Ryan is actually going to give you a quarterback snapshot of how the offense is run, how the team is doing, because he was there. And what he's going to do, and I want y'all to listen to me closely, he's going to tell you and explain to you in layman's terms what you are seeing out of Ritter. Say it again. Matt Ryan is going to give you a quarterback snapshot into what Desmond Ritter is doing in front of you.
Right.
What better way to explain what a future quarterback is doing than to have a future Hall of Famer tell you this is what's going on. This is what I see him doing. He can go over the mechanics, he can go over the tendencies, and he can go over the learning curve.
And that, my friends, is how you end it. That's how you end it on a good note right there. So, like I said, we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Um, for those that may not know, we actually have a part 2 show coming up on my channel, which will be the SummerSlam review discussion with the Unholy Alliance. So if you are a wrestling fan or you just want to shoot the shit with us, you go over to the Six Man K Styles channel. We will have that review starting up in about within 10 minutes. So, like I said, we still gonna have the 6-man convo coming up tomorrow. So as we always say over here, man, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Absolutely.
Dig it and stop into a slim jim.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the hell out of here. Oh yeah.
And take them Crocs off.
Because if you don't, your Crocs will end up like this.
What are those?
One, I swear.
I can't, bro.
That boy got
It hurt my eyes.
that motherfucker got ventilators on his Achilles. Nigga. What are we talking about?
He got Crocs shin guards with the strap in the back.